So I'm back. I got my glasses on, so y'all tell me if I look smart or not. But today's video is the top 5 smartest zodiac signs. So I wanted to make this video because I feel like this is a good video doing the list and stuff because I do believe that the zodiac signs do play a role a lot in people's life. And I do think to a certain degree it can determine on how smart you are. Now, of course, just because you're not in the top 5 or not on the list of smartest signs doesn't mean that you can't be smart. We just generally speaking in the Zodiac sign just give the traits of someone who more likely to be smart if you would come across them because when we look into being smart, it's really part of being smart and part of being intelligent is caring about being smart and caring about being intelligent. Like people say associate reading books and going to school and learning is a form of being smart. So it's really about your initiative to want to be smart. But certain zodiac signs, of course, which I'm going to break down, is more liable to be into things that would consider somebody smart, like school or reading. Certain zodiac signs is associated or might like reading more than other zodiac signs and learning new things and put more emphasis on being intelligent. So basically, what is being smart? Because a lot of people got a lot of different definitions of what being smart is. So um, it's kind of, I mean, it's we all got a basis of what being smarter, who do or what we think intelligence is. But some people think that being emotionally intelligent is count as being smart and intelligent. But most people we thinking mental, like we thinking how fast do you process information and how fast you pick up on something new, how many books you read, like different things like that. So the Webster definition of what being smart is basically having or showing a high degree of mental ability is what the Webster dictionary says what being smart is. So all I really take forward, and I think that we can mostly agree, somebody is smart is someone who basically is knowledgeable. That's all it really is, like somebody who has knowledge on something. Because you can be smart in different areas also. Like somebody could be a genius when it comes to cars, and another person could be a genius when it comes to health. Like it's all people as geniuses in different areas, but in general and generally speaking, when we consider somebody intelligent, we consider that somebody who may be well spoken. Because a lot of well spoken people get mistaken for being intelligent, being making good decisions is what me like personally. What I look at being smart as intelligent is somebody who makes good decisions and able to analyze and make the best decision when it comes to anything, or somebody who picks up on things quick. Like you don't have to show them too many times; they able to get it. Um, but that can be, it's so many different things because in one area you might pick up on something quick, in another area you might not be able to pick up it on quick. But like I said, we generally speaking right now. So for the most part, like I said, it's somebody who might put emphasis on being smart. And then there's people who pretend to be smart, and then people who actually are smart. So people is typically able to gauge what somebody being smart is and what somebody being dumb is. Like, just by having a conversation, most of us feel like we can tell who's smart and who not smart. But anyway, I'm gonna get into the video and I'm gonna break down the top 5 most common zodiac signs. Now, this is my opinion, but just like everything I do my research and see what other astrologers say, see what people generally say, see what the polls who, because this is something that's been talked about before and different lists has been made. So I kind of look at the different lists and different astrologers' opinion, and then I get my own personal opinion and or based off the signs that I interacted with and me knowing about astrology and stuff like that. So let's get right into it. Um, I'm gonna start. So here we go. Getting into the list. First, I wanted to do my honorable mention. I feel like these two signs could have been on the list. They just missed it, but I feel like they very smart signs, so they definitely worth bringing brung up. So I definitely want to give them a shout out and bring up why they just missed the list. So I guess this would have been six and seven if I would have went to 10 or 12 or whatever. So first I want to say Sagittarius, definitely honorable mention. Could have actually made this list, but they just missed it, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. So, Sagittarius is definitely a smart sign. They associated with higher learning. They the opposite of Gemini. Gemini and Sagittarius are both smart signs, but they just deal with the communication and intellect in a different way. So a lot of Sagittarius are very smart people. A lot of Sagittarius is funny. So when we look at humor as a way of intelligence, also being able to tell a joke and stuff, and you know, with comedy, there's a little bit of wittiness to it. So Sagittarius definitely deserve to be on this list and definitely smart. And a lot of Sagittarius are singers and rappers, like off the top of my head, Jay-Z, who else is Sagittarius? It's a lot of Sagittarius that's rappers and singers. Lil Baby, Taylor Swift, Nicki Minaj, I think Offset is a Sagittarius. So it's a lot of Sagittarius that's singers and rappers and speakers. So they real good. Like Sagittarius, if you talk to a Sagittarius, they very intellectual and very smart. Like you know, you could talk to a Sagittarius and tell, okay, this person is smart. Like you know, right off the rip, you could tell that with a lot of Sagittarius, and a lot of Sagittarius are, a lot of them are talented also. Like you know, very talented, and a lot of Sagittarius do they research, they into intellectual things and stuff like that. So Sagittarius definitely is one of the smartest signs. The reason why they just missed this list is the same reason why a lot of fire signs miss this list and don't really get associated with being intelligent, and that's because they impulsive. So a lot of Sagittarius, just like other fire signs, Aries and Leo, they impulsive. So being impulsive is the opposite of thinking, because you just do without thinking. It's being impulsive. So you do a lot of dumb things. And I noticed that a lot with fire signs is that Aries and Leo and Sagittarius also, which I think Sagittarius might be the less impulsive. We know that Aries is, and Leo probably in the middle. To where Sagittarius will do a lot of things that's just like, that's dumb. Like, why would you do that? Like, you know, like I've seen that a lot with Sagittarius. Like, you know, like they smart people who do dumb things. And that's what a lot happens with a lot of fire signs, because fire signs are definitely intelligent. They do a lot of dumb stuff. And if you a fire sign, if you a Sagittarius, you probably can agree with me. Like, okay, I understand, because like, you know, definitely smart, but you know, like y'all do impulsive things and do dumb things to where it's like, why would you do that? So that makes you come across and look dumb. So, or not smart. So that's why Sagittarius just missed this list. Because I do know a lot of Sagittarius, and a lot of them is smart, but they'll do an impulsive thing that'll make them look dumb. Then of course dealing with the fire. So that's another reason with the air and the fire signs is that, like I always say, is that the earth and air signs are the thinkers, the fire and water is the feelers of the zodiac sign. Not meaning that they can't be smart, because obviously they on this list, and there's probably another water or earth sign on this list also, but they tend to feel more so than think. So that leads to a lot of bad decisions with I've seen with fire and water signs. So that's why they just missed the list. So another honorable mention, Capricorn. Capricorn definitely could have been in the top five. Definitely went to put them there. They definitely one of the smartest signs. They really the opposite of Sagittarius. Like I said, is because they don't make a lot of impulsive decisions. Capricorns are really methodical and really think things through, which a lot of times make them come across smart, because they think about stuff. And then, like I said, to me, being smart is making good decisions. So a lot of times Capricorns do make good decisions. Um, when it comes to things. So I definitely could have put Capricorn higher, and I definitely do feel like they can be there. Like one of the smartest people of all time to me is the owner of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. Like I watched the Amazon documentary, and that dude is a genius coming up with Alexa and the Ring camera, and just the way he really innovated and did things. Like that dude is a genius. A lot of Capricorns are geniuses, and we associate them with being the CEOs and bosses, and most of the time we feel like the CEOs and bosses are the smart people of the company. Whether they are or not, they are like associated with. When you think of CEO, you don't think of a not intelligent person. So definitely Capricorn definitely deserves an honorable mention. The reason why they didn't make the top five is because they're Capricorn is more like ruled by Saturn, so they more slow with their thinking. Like they not as like quick to catch on to stuff and to get stuff like other signs that would be on this list. Like they take their time and really, like they will get it, but it might take them a little bit longer to get it. There's some other signs. And they might have to work harder because I done seen that a lot with Capricorn. That's why they know for hard workers. To where I had a girl in class, a true Capricorn, like for real, like she was a super hard worker and she was smart, but it took her a while to catch on in the class versus then some other people. Like she didn't get it at first, but she had the Capricorn, the willpower and the work ethic to keep on learning and working hard at it to see where she eventually got it and mastered it. And that's why, but that's the one reason why I leave Capricorn off the list a little bit lower, because they a little bit or as an honorable mention and not in the top five. I feel like the top five on this list is a little bit quicker thinkers than a Capricorn is. Then a Capricorn I've seen a lot they make a lot of the dumb decisions when it comes to relationships. For real. And y'all can know this too. Like if you're a Capricorn, like a lot of Capricorns I know, like they made the wrong decisions when it came to relationships and love and choosing their partners and stuff, to where it's like you wasn't thinking when you got with this person. So them the two honorable mentions, Sagittarius and Capricorn. So getting into the top five. Number five on this list, definitely could have been higher up on this list. When I was researching, because like I said, I got this from researching other astrologers' opinion, reading polls, getting people opinions, and then of course my own personal opinion of people that I know. Because since I got into astrology, I really started researching like everybody I meet and I know they sign. I started really digging deep into their personality to see if it lines up. So, and I done met a lot of people from every sign. Like I did met somebody and had associates with every zodiac sign before, some more than others, of course. But this sign on my list, my first three girlfriends with this sign. So, and one of my best friends for over 10 years with this zodiac sign. So I know this sign a lot. And they definitely could have been higher on the list. A lot of astrologers do have them higher, but this is my list. So it is what it is. So number five, Scorpio. Scorpio definitely deserves to be on this list. They definitely one of the smartest signs that there is. And Scorpios is smart because they obsessive and they deep when it comes to something. Like they would really research something. Like Scorpios, I know, like if they want to know something, they gonna know it because they're gonna dive deep. Like whether it's a video game, a book, a movie, TV show. Like I done seen this with the Scorpios that I know. Like when they like something or they get into something, they not gonna stop till they master it. Like they obsessive over it. Whether versus like a Gemini or another air sign, even like myself, to where we all over the place. Like we want to multitask. Like we want to, okay, I want to learn about this, and that'd be my problem. Like I'll be researching and looking at like 10 different things at once. Like, this getting like, different information about a lot of different things. Scorpios are different to where they will stick to one thing and really just zone in on that. So that's why Scorpios are a lot, some of the smartest and some of the best in whatever like they put their mind just really set on doing. So definitely Scorpio deserves to be on this list. And you can debate if they was higher because the reason why I don't have them higher up on the list is because also off rip they are water signs. So the same applies what I said about water and fire signs. But with water signs, I feel like Scorpios and like they say do have the best control of their emotions. So they not as impulsive or as other water signs. And I wouldn't even call it impulsive like fire signs, but it's called being in your feelings. So what happens when you in your feelings is that, of course, you feeling instead of thinking, which can lead you to make bad decisions. And that can be the same for Scorpios a lot of times, to where Scorpios can make a lot of dumb decisions because they're in their feelings. When they do get in their feelings, they can overlook all logic, which would cause them to make a lot of bad decisions. And as we know, dealing with Scorpios, a lot of times it's going to be with relationships. We know Scorpios get into a toxic relationship or get vindictive, they can do a lot of stuff without thinking. Like, revenge, like we know Scorpios is big on revenge. So, of course, when they can be revengeful and then, of course, they smart, so they can be smart about doing it. But if you're truly smart, you would know that revenge is not the best way. Or, because being in revengeful is an emotion, like you mad or sad or whichever one you want it to be, but you in your feelings, so you're not really thinking, you feeling more so than thinking, which can lead you to make a lot of dumb decisions to where it could be a situation to where you should just leave it alone. Like, hey, she gone, bro. Like, leave it alone. Like, but you in your feelings, being a Scorpio, you F that, I'm gonna get my revenge, or a Scorpio sleep with somebody friend and not thinking, and it can get back to them or end up, biting them in the ass because they were just in their feelings at the moment. So that's why I have Scorpio lower on the list, because Scorpios are super smart, but they deal with the feelings, just like water signs, just like other fire signs, to where they can be feeling more than thinking. And that can end up, of course, making them look dumb. So number 4 on this list, getting into the Mount Rushmore. Number 4 on this list, I battled with number 3. It was real hard between these two. Yeah, it was real hard. I'm actually debating it right now, but I'm gonna go with what I put down, what I wrote down. So definitely deserves to be on this list, and that's Libra. Libra, definitely one of the smartest signs. They are air signs, so they one of the thinking and communicative signs. And most Libras is like this. A lot of Libras that I know, because I know a lot of Libras, of course. They a lot of Libras I know, like they okay with being labeled nerds. A lot of Libras is nerds. Like a lot of Libras I know love to reads a lot of books. Like I think mostly majority of Libras I knew and met, like they big on reading, got a lot of books. In school, like like Libras is definitely an intelligent sign, and they attracted to intelligence like other zodiac signs. So if you're a Libra, you might be turned on by intelligence, by how smart somebody is. Like that type of thing turns you on somebody intellect, and you can be big into intellectual things. So we already know like Libra definitely one of the smartest signs and definitely deserves to be here. A lot of Libras I know love learning, love reading. A lot of them is associated with being nerds. So the reason why Libra, I guess, not top 3 or higher on the list is because Libras is the sign of partnership and deal with relationships. So that's where a lot of time they're probably gonna come in, is to where Libras can make a lot of dumb decisions when it comes to relationships and partnerships. And they be in people pleasing ways and trying to be nice. They can tend to get involved with the wrong people, or take the wrong person back, or be in a toxic relationship, or and things like that. And that's what really puts Libra back and holds Libra back, is that a lot of times they be in their feelings more so than these other signs would be. And they more so focused on a partner, sometimes to a detriment to where they can know that this partner is the wrong partner or know they in a bad situation, but they just don't want to be alone, or they just crave for partnership so much just they decide a partnership to where that can end up biting them. So that's where they struggle with, also to where I know a lot of times in a lot of relationships, and that's what they got in common with Capricorn. And that's why I know a lot of Libras and Capricorns that end up dating and end up being together a lot, because they both attracted to each other because they both are smart and intellectual people, but then at the same time, they both bad when it comes to picking partners and sometimes overlook love and that type of thing over thinking and being rational more so because the next three signs is signs that would let their intellect override their emotions when it comes to relationships and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of had Libra kind of pushed back on the list, because the Libra can do a lot of things, either people pleasing or just trying to be in a partnership, to where it's like you could see a lot of Libras who in bad relationships, or a lot of Libras, sorry to say Libras, we know Cardi B, Kim Kardashian, a lot of sex workers is Libras also. Like, research it, it just is what it is. And then I know a lot of Libras like who in the adult industry and stuff like that. Not saying that it's dumb, because from a Libra standpoint, to talk to a Libra, they think that it's smart because they making money and they know how to make money. And of course, the Libra female know how to sell her sexuality. Like, we know Kim Kardashian became a billionaire off selling sex. So some people can look at Kim Kardashian for being smart in a way, but then some people can look at it being dumb as, okay, like being known as a hoe or 304 from hopping from person to person, and not being able to be in a steady relationship like Kim Kardashian is, to where, or even Cardi B, we see with Offset, to where people, we look at Cardi B as being dumb because it's like you with Offset and keep on cheating on you, but you keep going back, like that's dumb. And that's a perfect example right there for Libras. And I've seen that a lot with Libras, to where they keep going back to the wrong partner, to where they would look dumb. Like, why do you keep on going back to this person if you smart? So that's Libra. So number two on this list, getting into number two. So number two on this list, I have to go with, no, I'm on number three. My bad. That was Libra was number four, because I messed up. My bad. So number three on this list, Virgo. Virgo definitely deserves to be on this list. Like, Virgos is known as the analytical sign, the sign of, being detail oriented. Like, a lot of Virgos are very smart. The person who dropped the most knowledge on me and that helped me the most in life was a Virgo. Like, the dude, he was an older dude, and he dropped so many gems on me that I still use to this day. Like, Virgos are very definitely very, very smart people for sure. And a lot of Virgos we know is known for being smart, whether it's Kobe Bryant is considered a smart person. Nas, the rapper, Cat Williams is considered one of the more smarter comedians and very intelligent. Um, who else a Virgo? Dave Chappelle. Like, there's a lot of very, very smart Virgos for sure. Virgos are definitely a very smart sign. Some people had them would have them even top two on the list. So yeah, I mean, ain't much more to say. Like, like Virgos is a lot of Virgos are definitely smart, because they pay attention to the details, and they able to be out their feelings, like I said, with other earth signs, to where Virgos is a very thinking sign for sure. Like, they not more so dealing with the feelings, like a fire or a water sign, or even more, they even more like thinkers and more into the intellect than even Capricorn is, and of course Taurus. So Yeah, definitely Virgo deserves to be on this list. They definitely very smart people and they very, like I said, detailed and analyze things. So when you analyze things, that definitely a way of being smart, breaking down why things work and why things happen. So definitely Virgo. The reason why Virgo um I guess number three and not number one or like, not higher on the list. Because Virgo is a very common sign. There's a lot of Virgo, so it's kind of, when we get into, even though they might be second, because some of my research said Cancer might be the most popular sign now or the most common sign. But for the longest, they was the most common sign, and one of the most common signs could we know they the holiday baby. So it's a lot of Virgos who bringing, for every smart Virgo, there's probably two dumb Virgos and that be doing dumb things. So Virgo's problem also too is that they overthink things. So that can be a problem. You would think that overthinking things that makes you smart, but it can also make you do a lot of dumb things also. Because when you overthink things, then you just don't do the right thing. You can end up doing the wrong thing, or you can end up overthinking yourself out of doing something smart a lot of times, and that's a lot of times what happened with Virgos. And then also with Virgo, they a prisoner of being an earth sign also, to where a lot of Virgos I know have bad time with relationships, can crave stability a little bit too much, because there's like a lot of Virgos I named is definitely married and in relationships and stuff like that. But a lot of Virgos I know, like I put in my top five most hated list, is that a lot of Virgos I know be cheating and will get caught cheating and just doing a lot of dumb stuff for real, like getting into bad relationships or like I think like Virgos end up overthinking themselves a lot of times, and that would ends up messing them up. And I see that a lot of times is that they overthink something and think themselves out of something. And then also their personality too. Like a lot of Virgos, like they smart and you have to really get them, but a lot of Virgos can come off as, like people like who people don't like to be around. Like they could come off as stuck up and to a certain degree know-it-alls, to where it's kind of like their intelligence and their personality can come off as off-putting a lot of times too. So like I said, they third on the list. So this top three is really like another, it's splitting hairs, but if I had to give a reason, that would be my reasoning for having Virgo number three, I guess, instead of top two. So getting into the top two, number two on this list, um, this was kind of hard, but I mean, everybody gonna agree this is a top five, top four smartest zodiac sign on the list. And some people even have them number one. I've seen on a few lists. Some people have them four or five or lower on the list, but then some lists I have seen them as the number one sign. So I'm giving my personal opinion, like I said, because this is my list. So number two on this list, Gemini. Definitely Gemini has to be on this list. They're another air sign dealing with the intellect and the mental for sure. Gemini's this rule, just like with Virgo, the signs of Mercury. So if you know Mercury is the sign of communication and it's the sign of um fast thinking. Like Mercury is a fast planet. I'm not sure if it is the fastest planet, it might be, but so thing with Gemini's that they the quickest thinker. Like Gemini's pick up on information and pick on stuff very quick. They very witty. Like a lot of Gemini's are very witty people. They excellent communicators, and we associate like somebody who able to talk good and communicate well. We associate them with being intelligent. It's a lot of Gemini's. That we consider smart people, like Prince of Gemini, Kendrick Lamar, Tupac, Ice Cube, Kanye West. A lot of people consider Kanye West a genius. He a Gemini. TD Jakes is a Gemini. Like there's a lot of Geminis, and a lot of them. Donald Trump is even a Gemini, and a lot of people could feel like Donald Trump is dumb, but he was smart enough to somehow talk his way to being the president. So it is what it is. But and then I was looking at something like the Nobel the Nobel Prizes, like it's the prize that they give to intellectual, like it's the highest prize that you can receive for intellect. I guess I didn't know it was an award for that, but there actually is an award for being intellectual. So, and the zodiac sign that has the most of them prizes is Gemini. So, they definitely lead the list of people who got the award, the intelligence award, the Nobel Award. So that's another reason just to look at. And yeah, and then they mutable, so mutable air, so they more so into a lot of different things. Like a Gemini can be able to multitask, which some people can consider smart, being able to do a lot of different things and being skilled and smart in a lot of different areas. So that's why I got them high on the list, and I definitely think that they deserve to be there because they were very fast at thinking, and a lot of Geminis, they able to manipulate people, talk people into anything. That's a sign of being smart. Love to play mental games for sure. So, I mean, top two is not really giving a reason why they shouldn't be higher on the list. The only problem I guess I got with Geminis is we know Geminis can get caught up in relationships too. A lot of Geminis, like we seen with Kanye West, not thinking like a lot of Geminis, because Geminis are super flirty. And a lot of Geminis is big on just like Libras and that's where they get along at when it comes to relationships and wanting to be in a relationship and dating. We know a lot of Geminis are players. A lot of Geminis get around and stuff. So when you look at that, that can also be the Achilles heel. Also, when it comes to relationships and talking to a lot of people, then a lot of times Geminis can do a lot of stuff without thinking also, because like a lot of Geminis just, like they just out there. Like Geminis have a real out there personality. If you not haven't noticed, from Prince, Kanye, and even Tupac and stuff like that, to where Geminis like Geminis to a certain, like they like the crazy smart, like too, to where like they crazy and they like out there, but then they also, it's a lot of intelligence to it also. So a lot of Geminis can also find themselves doing things that like it's basically depending on who perceiving it and who's looking at it. Rather, like a Gemini can do something, and some people can feel like a genius, and some people can feel like it's dumb. And I feel like Kanye West is the big example of that. Like a lot of people feel like Kanye is a genius, but then a lot of people feel like he dumb and do a lot of big things. And I feel that way too. I do feel like Kanye is a genius in a lot of ways when it comes to music and doing stuff. But like a lot of stuff he done said and did is just like you not thinking and being smart. And then it could become down to their personality and they two split sides. So Gemini can find themselves being intellectual 1 minute, but then also being like a completely something that would be opposite of being intellectual. Like a lot of times Gemini's like kind of like Ice Cube and Tupac is a big example of that, of how they, on one hand, they intelligent, and you look at like these intelligent and conscious dude, but then on the other hand, they gangster and doing like, they could be very contradicting in their ways. So that can make them come off like a little bit not smart and off-putting also, because 1 minute they can do something that's smart and be seen as smart and conscious, then they would do something that's the opposite of that, to where like that's dumb. Like, 1 minute you talking about uplifting the community, and then the next minute you talking about being a gangster and shooting up people. Like that's a Gemini. So that's why they number two on the list. Number one on this list. I mean, this was easy for me, and I'm gonna break it down. So I don't want y'all to feel like I'm being biased from my other videos. But number one, Aquarius, hands down. So I mean, if you research, you Google what's the smartest sign, it's gonna come up with the Aquarius. Majority of lists I look up comes up. Aquarius is number one on the list, on most people list, not every list. Cause like I said, I've seen a couple of lists where Gemini's number one. Scorpio is also up there. Cause like if you count emotional intelligence, not just the typical intelligence, like book smart and catching on and feeling and things, like if you factor in emotional intelligence, Scorpio would be probably top two, or could be number one, because Aquarius kind of struggles with emotional intelligence. So So, but yeah, so looking on most lists, like it's Aquarius, and then like I said, this is my personal list, and then this is what really got me into astrology and stuff like that, because since I was younger, and I'm Aquarius, so I can speak a lot to this, and of course I know a lot of Aquarius. So I'm definitely, like I say, since I was younger, I care about learning. I was big into computers, and that's another thing. Aquarius is the sign of technology. And I'm not saying that, of course, all Aquarius are big into technology and know about technology, but a lot is. So when it comes to like technology, like computers and cell phones and stuff, like I'm been super big into that since I was a kid. Like before a lot of kids was into computers and that type of stuff, I always been that way. Oh, and then one of my best friends when I was younger, he was the Aquarius, and we was into a lot of like computer stuff, video games. A lot of Aquarius is big into um like even trading, like how Pokemon was big and Yu-Gi-Oh when I was growing up, and just different games, like different mental things, like anything to strike our intellect. Then of course, Aquarius is another air sign, so of course they dealing with intellect, intellect and being thinkers, just like other air and earth signs. Like if you haven't noticed, all three air signs made this list, and then two of the earth signs was in I'm mentioning on this list. So it just goes to show, like, it is true. Like the thinkers of the zodiac typically are the more smarter ones, because they dealing with intellect and they care about that. Also, Aquarius, like, we attracted to intellect, just like Libras and Geminis is. Like, think that I know it attracts me the most is intellect. Like if I talk to a female and she's smart, and I'm like, dang, she really like intelligent. Like that turns me on more so than a lot of things. And that's why one of my longest relationship and one of my girlfriends was a Virgo. And I was attracted to her because she was smart. This time we was able to talk and like communicate and stuff. And I'm like, dang, and the same thing for the Libra who I dated. Like our relationship was mostly built on intellect and being able to be there mentally and stuff like that. So we definitely dealing with the intellect and mental. So the reason why I think that we number one on this list is because we care less about feelings than probably any other sign besides maybe Capricorn, I would say. So what happens with that is that of course when you out your feelings, you all mental, and that's what I notice about myself to a certain degree, is that I'm like majority logic over feelings. Like I don't really care about feelings. I'm all about being logical and thinking and what makes sense. So that's what I think put us number one, because we deal with being logical more so than any other sign. Like I said, with Gemini or Libra or Virgo or something, like some of the other signs, to where they would care more so about relationships, and like they could tend to be more so emotional and get into their feelings about other things than Aquarius will. Like Aquarius gonna be, for the most part, because we do have feelings, and of course, um, just like any sign, we just don't show it a lot. But we definitely have not dealing with feelings versus a lot of other signs, and we would think more so than feel. Like a lot of times I'll be feeling a way, but I will process it, like they say, through thinking. So I would think about my feelings and think, does that make sense? And then another thing that I just discovered also is that Aquarius is dealing a lot with their will being the opposite of Leo. So being the opposite of Leo is that with the sun is that a lot of Aquarius, we tend to procrastinate. So that's the bad side of it. When the sun is being away, of course, and that's how it's going to be with Leo being our opposite, because Leo is ruled by the sun. But that also make us think more so than do. So it could be procrastinations what can mess us up when it comes to doing things, but then it can also help us to where we think out everything that we do. And I got that from another astrologer who said that, and which I do find is true. That's why I don't make a lot of bad decisions. Even though I do know a lot of Aquarius who do make bad decisions, mostly the women, and that could be from women being more emotional than they are logical. So that could play a part. But a lot of Aquarius I know like are very smart people and don't make bad decisions, or if they do, because a lot of times with me, because like I said, your chart matters, your moon sign matters, your moon sign is more so your feelings. So sometimes your feelings can override your logic even for Aquarius, but most of the time I try to make the wrong decision, and then when I do make the wrong decision, I know that I am, and I think about it. Like I'll know what I'm about to do is dumb, but the rebellious nature of Aquarius to just have me be like, "F it, I'm gonna do it anyway." So yeah, that's the top five smartest zodiac signs. Hope I broke that down enough. I definitely think I got my list right. And I gave my reason and logic behind it, like a Aquarius would do. So y'all tell me what y'all think on this list about this list.